In this video, I want to talk about the ukulele, and more so the history of the ukulele. The ukulele, in my opinion, is the greatest instrument of all time, and its history is just as interesting or as entertaining as the instrument itself. So, I'm going to break this up into 6 parts. The first part is its origin. Now, when I think of ukuleles, I think of Hawaii. However, it actually started in Europe, and it wasn't in Hawaii until about 1879 when 4 Portuguese cabinet makers on a ship bought the instrument. At the time it was sort of like a machete. It was sort of like, had like a figure 8 shape, and it was sort of similar to what we see, but it was a bit more guitarish to the island, and then that's how the sort of ukulele was born. The second part is its rise to popularity. Obviously, once it was in Hawaii, it then boomed a little bit, and the ukulele quickly became Hawaii's national instrument thanks to its popularity with the Hawaiian royals and of course the locals. It's funny that whenever the royals of anything sort of do something, it sort of begins to be a bit of a common theme. Then what happened was the US annexation of Hawaii. So after Hawaii was annexed by the US in 1898, the US sought to market Hawaii as a tropical paradise. The 1915 Panama Pacific International Exposition, which featured ukulele music, sparked the instrument's boom in the US during the 1920s. And in the 1920s, ukulele music became a hallmark of Hawaiian culture and was featured in piano scores, jazz music, and entertainment. It's always interesting how things like that sort of take place. Whenever there's sort of a thing where, you know, you want to sort of take over something, or you want to make something more of a theme, it can happen. However, it then went over the world, but it did then begin to decline, which was because of the war. So, part 3 is global spread and decline. So the UK and George Formby, when the Great Depression hit in the late 1920s, ukulele popularity waned in the US. But in the UK, the ukulele found a new home, especially in music halls. It became to be quite popular, and it became to be quite trendy and a bit groovy, and it became to be very popular with people like George Formby being a key figure in that. And the World War II revival. So with World War II, troops, especially those stationed in Hawaii, returned home with ukuleles, contributing to a revival in the US after the war. And I think that's a nice little story to tell. Like, if you're in a war and you got, you know, it's not a great time, but you got ukuleles with you. Tell you what, if I was in a war and I could take a ukulele, I definitely would. And then by bringing that home, you're able to sort of revive its popularity again. And in the 1950s, it went bananas. It went absolutely bananas, and plastic ukuleles were mass produced. A lot of it was marketed to children, and this led to another surge in ukulele sales. Part 4 is the second ukulele boom. So that was the first one. The second one was with Arthur Godfrey, because he's a TV personality. He popularized ukulele again in the 1950s, which is considered to be the major cause of the second ukulele boom. And then Tiny Tim in the 1960s decline. In the 1960s and 70s, Tiny Tim's quirky ukulele performances led to a decline in the instrument's mainstream popularity. And I think that's mainly because people were just weirded out by Tiny Tim. And that's probably what happened there. And that's fair enough. Part 5, the ukulele in modern times. So 1990s and 2000s, obviously guitars dominated this era, but it did see rise in acoustic and alternative music as well, which is very fortunate for the ukulele, and became popular again as part of its sort of new sound, with bands like the Magnetic Fields incorporating it into their music. And internet revival. The internet has played a significant role in the ukulele's resurgence, introducing the instrument to a new generation. Social media and online tutorials have inspired many to pick up the instrument again after a rather different time frame, which is important, and I think should be contributed a lot of success for this. And songs like I'm Yours and Riptide, those sort of things in a bit more modern times. It's made it accessible, it's made it common, and it's made it fun. And I think that's a massive part that leads into part 6, which is the ukulele's popularity today, and its wider appeal. It's small, it's affordable, it's relatively easy to learn, it's light, you can take it easy, you can take it everywhere, it's easy to carry, and it's popular with all ages, whether it be child, retirees, pensioners, musicians, all sorts of people. It's very common, it's very easy, which I love. And festivals and communities. Ukulele festivals and groups have popped up around the world, with enthusiasts participating in world record attempts for the largest ukulele gatherings. Now, all those sort of things lead to more success for the ukulele. And that is it. So, to conclude, the ukulele's had a pretty weird history. It's had moments of popularity, moments of decline, it's going up and down, but since evolving from Portugal and being a massive pivotal part of the Hawaiian culture, with its moments in the 60s, decline, and then back in the 2000s again, the ukulele now is one of the most popular instruments in the world, and is still the greatest. Hope you found this video interesting and somewhat entertaining, and I look forward to teaching you how to play the ukulele in many more videos to come. Thank you for watching.